This is note taking guide 5.5 for Math 1. So we're going to continue talking about functions and how they can work together and combine together. Today we're going to be looking at some graphs of functions though instead. So let's just start this problem and kind of decide some of the things that we've already known. So it says use the graph below to answer the following questions. The first one is f of 2. Well, this 2 is my x value. So when I go over to 2 on my x, which is right here, I need to find where f of 2 is. So if I followed that up, I need to, first of all, the g of x function is the curve, it's this one, and then the f of x function is the straight line. So I'm going to find my value on my straight line because it's my f of x function. So where exactly is my value of 2 on my straight line? Well, it looks like it's right here up at 5. So f of 2 equals 5. Then it says to find g of 2. So doing the same thing, still at 2, but this time I'm looking for the value on the curve. So on the curve this time, it appears that at 2 I'm crossing right there at 5. So let me see if I think I did that right. Oh, I'm just kidding. Look, I really didn't draw my line very good. Let's redraw my line. So I'm over here at 2, which means that it's going to touch my curve right here at 4 instead. So I'm sorry about that. I couldn't see very well on that graph, but it's at 4 is where g of 2 is at. So then it says to find f plus g of 2. Well, if I know f of 2 is 5, and I know g of 2 is 4, I can really just add those together to get 9 for f plus g of 2, and we've done that before. So what I've done here, again, just to remind us, is we found ordered pairs. The ordered pair is 2, 5, the ordered pair is 2, 4, and now my ordered pair would be, on my new thing, would be 2, 9. If I were to add those functions together, the new ordered pair would be 2, 9, because it was at 2, and I had an output value of 9. Okay, let's see if we can do the same thing now with our next examples here. So we're going to find f of 1. So again, f is the straight line, so it looks like we're up at 3. Then we're finding g of 1, which is the curve. So it looks like we're up at 2 right there. And then it says find f plus g of 1. So adding those together, we're at 5. So again, this ordered pair would have been 1, 3, this ordered pair would have been 1, 2, and when I add them together, my new ordered pair is 1, 5. So just answering some questions about those graphs over there. All right, to continue with what we're talking about here, it says, using the graph above now, sketch what h of x might look like if h of x comes from adding the two functions together. Well, I want to remind you that we already found 2 of the new ordered pairs on the new function because we already added the two functions together and got those 2 ordered pairs. So the first thing I'm going to do on that graph is I'm going to graph the ordered pair 2, 9. So I'm over 2 and I'm up 9, and I'm going to have a point right there. Geez, I wish I could get it in the right spot. And then my other ordered pair was 1, 5. So I'm going to be over 1 and up 5, which is right here somewhere. And then really what I should probably do is find at least one more point because I'm not sure what that's supposed to look like yet. So let's come over and look at our graph and see if we can find a spot where we can, and I actually think I'm going to come right here because that's a nice point. On my graphs, the straight line is up at 1. The curve is up at 1. And if I did 1 plus 1, I'd be up at 2 on my new graph. So I'm going to go graph that new ordered pair 0, 2. And I'm going to just kind of decide that my curve is coming something like this. And that's a good enough sketch. We're not going to really be super accurate today. We're just going to combine, at least get 3 ordered pairs and draw a sketch of the graph through that. But that's what the 2 graphs added together would be. It would make sense that a line and a curve together should end up being some kind of a curve because the line should start taking the form of the curve a little bit. And that's kind of what happened on my graph, was it started to take that shape of the curve. All right, next example, it says if s of x is f of x plus g of x, then graph f of x below. Well, they gave me f of x and they gave me g of x, so really what I've got to do is just find some spots that I can add them together. So I'm going to look right here at 0. That graph is at 2, and this graph is at 4. So where's my new graph going to be at? It's going to be at 2 plus 4, which is up at 6. So my first point on my graph is up here. Then I'm just going to do the same thing again at a different point. So I'm going to kind of just look and see where I can find a good point at, because I don't want to be like guessing really a lot. So I'm going to come over here to -1. And I can see at -1 that this graph is up at 2 and this graph is down at -4. If I add those together, 2 plus -4 is a -2. So my new graph is going to be down at -2 on that spot. So then I'm just going to draw my line through there, and I should know that a line plus a line is going to equal a line. So just get 2 points and draw your line through it. All right, we have one more example to do here. This time, if you'll notice, it says to subtract instead of add. So I've been adding, and in addition, I can add in any order, but in subtraction, it matters which order I add. So I always need to make sure I'm looking at the f value first and then doing the g value. But I'm really just going to make my best guesses as to where I'm at and where I want to look. I think I want to look at 0, because look, right here, you're at 0. Right here, you're at 4. So those are some really nice numbers. So I remember I have to use my f value first. So f is this line. So I'm going to go 0 minus 4, which means my new point is down at -4. So my new point is going to be down here at -4. Now I know a line minus a line is going to be a line, so I just need to find one more point somewhere. So let's look and see if we can find one more spot to look on my graphs to find some nice values. So how about right here at -1? Over here at -1, this graph is up at 2. This graph is down at -1. Now I got to go f of x minus g of x. So my f of x value is 2, and then I got to go minus -1. 2 minus a -1 is actually 3. So my new point is going to be up at 3. And then my line goes through those two ordered pairs. So that's how we're going to graphically add or combine functions together, add or subtract them together. We're just going to find points that we can see, ordered pairs on our graphs that we can see. We're going to either add or subtract those ordered pairs together and regraph our new function. So come see me if you have any questions, you guys. Good luck with your homework.